So for our first set of notes, we're going to go to where we wrote Unit 1, but this is going to be page 2, so I'm going to write a 2 at the bottom. And on page 2, this is going to be notes about diamond problems. And some of you may have seen diamond problems in your grade 1 class, some of you may not have. That's why I just want to go over them really quick. Now I would say that this is a really important topic, so I'm going to go back to my table of contents, and under Unit 1, I'm going to say that's page 2, we have diamond problems. So let's say in the future, we use diamond problems in a specific lesson, which we will. It is going to be really important that you can come back to this and see what the notes are on. So you just have to go to Unit 1. Okay, diamond problems. I'm going to go to that page. So page 2, diamond problems. So what is a diamond problem? Well, we have a diamond or a cross, whatever you want to call it, like that. And generally speaking, you're going to have either 2 numbers here or 2 numbers here, okay, depending on what the missing pieces are. Okay, so let's pretend like our numbers on the sides are x and y. Let's just pretend. We have x and y. To get to the top number, so I'm just going to write top number. The top number is going to be this number and this number multiplied together. So that's going to be x times y. X times y. To get the top number, you're going to multiply those together. And to get the bottom number, you're going to add those numbers together. So that's going to be x plus y. Bottom number is going to be x plus y. So if you're given those 2 side numbers, it's really easy. You just have to multiply them to get to the top and add them to get to the bottom. It gets a little trickier when you're actually searching for those 2 numbers, which we will do a couple of examples of as well. But first I want you to try a few examples just like this. Really easy. I'm going to give you 2 where I give you those side numbers. So let's say, for example, I give you plus 3 and plus 9. And then over here I'm going to give you negative 12, positive 6. The video is going to go ahead and pause right now. And then you're going to have a question to answer. That question is going to give me an idea of where you guys are at based off of this material. So please go ahead and do these 2 problems, answer those questions on the video, and then I will continue it after. So, like I said, you're going to multiply to the top, add to the bottom, so it'll be plus 3 times plus 9, that's going to be plus 27. Plus 3 plus 9, adding together, that's going to be a plus 12. Now you'll notice I have all these pluses. Those aren't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to have them, excuse me. I just like to have those so that I can clearly see what type of number I have. I have positives, so that gives me that idea. Because then when you get over here, when you have negatives, it gets a little bit trickier, right? We have a negative and we have a positive. Well, a negative times a positive is going to give you a negative. So that's going to be a negative 72 up here. And then a negative 12 plus a positive 6 is going to give you a negative 6. And that's why I like to write those values, the pluses or the minuses, just so I can clearly see what my end result is going to be. Okay? But you could also be given the top and the bottom number. So let's do a couple of examples like that. So let's say I gave you we're going to have 70 plus 70 and plus 17. Okay. Now, when you're given something like this, you need to ask yourself, what multiplies to the top number and adds to the bottom? Okay, so we're looking for two numbers that multiply to 70 and add to 17. Okay, the easiest way to think about that is what multiplies to 70. Hopefully some of you are thinking 10 and 7. Well, if you thought 10 and 7, then you just have to say, well, does 10 plus 7 equal 17? Yes, it does. So the answer is going to be plus 10 and plus 7, because 10 times 7 is 70, and 10 plus 7 is 17. And that's how you figure those out. So I do want you to try a couple of examples as well. So just like before, I'm going to write 2 examples down. It's going to pause, going to ask you a question, and then I will go over it after you answer that question. Okay, so for this one, I want you to figure out what adds to plus 5. Excuse me, multiplies to plus 5, adds to plus 6, and what multiplies to negative 35 and adds to negative 2. So we're multiplying to 5, adding to 6. Hopefully you guys got plus 5 and plus 1, because 5 times 1 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. Over here it's a little bit trickier because we have negatives. We're multiplying to negative 35. Well, you have to think, what multiplies to negative 35? We have 7 and 5, okay, but there's a negative in there somewhere. So it's a negative 2, which means it's going to be a negative 7 and a positive 5, because negative 7 times 5 is a negative 35, and a negative 7 plus 5 gives you that negative 2. Okay. Down here at the bottom of your page, I do want you to write a little summary. Okay, so go ahead and write the summary about what you learned on this page, and write one question. So you should have a summary, and you should have one question. Doesn't matter what that question is, but have it pertaining to this material, and I will be checking that tomorrow.